but like the detective stuff is the most interesting thing, but it's also kind of flawed. But in a way that doesn't really bother me.
All right, I think we're live now.
Live from New York, it's
Tuesday. I've been off all week. I have no idea what day it is anymore.
I've been in a mood, as you have been able to tell.
Yeah.
And I've been trying to shake it for like 2 weeks now, and it's only gotten worse.
So, it would be great, Andrew, if you keep an eye on the stream. That way, you can let me know how things are kind of running and how sound is and everything.
Oh, I have it muted because I'm going to be behind, and that is going to confuse the hell out of me. But I can do that for you if you want.
I would appreciate it. You know, we did a couple tests. We finally said
you're actually like only a 2 seconds.
It should only be like 5 seconds ish.
Oh my god, this is already the worst.
Well, don't listen to me through your headphones. Just listen to me through YouTube.
How do I mute you in Discord?
Can you mute me in Discord? I could probably mute me in Discord. Sorry, everyone. We did a bunch of tests, but it's always a different thing going live. I say everyone, like it's not my parents and my best friends.
There's 2 Seths, which is already 3 Seths more than I can handle.
Okay. How about now? Now that I'm muted.
You're good. You're just going to hear a bit of a delay from me, I guess.
That's fine.
You can hear me.
Oh my god, the delay's already there. Okay, so Street Masters. I only know of this from a couple podcasts and stuff. It's supposed to be like Streets of Rage. But I have not done this tutorial. And I don't know... the quality doesn't seem too bad. I was using a different iPad stream a while ago, and it was a little blurry. So I hope nobody minds me kind of going through this. Let's see. Ooh, a lot of words. A lot to learn, huh? Well, hopefully I don't need to read the rule book, because I'm not going to do that. And if they're just going to teach me how to do it. Fighting the Brotherhood and their boss, Dimitri. Okay, get them to 0. Health resistance to 0. 3 of the 5 stage weapons cache.
Is it like a skirmish game?
It's like a co-op. As far as I'm aware, it's like a co-op. I don't think it's co-op. So I mean, I wouldn't say a co-op game is skirmish. But I assume it's kind of like TMNT or something like that, or like Descent. I've heard it's. I know the player
just
characters.
Looking at the like map that's moving in it.
I've heard it kind of referred to as
TMNT.
As like Sentinels meets a board, because all the player characters have different decks and they all have their own thing, but you have to like move around and stuff like that. Okay, so let's just get moving here. And I've heard this app is pretty good for it too, but it was just something that I wanted to try. Is there no music anymore? Is that a thing, or do people like music? I guess there's just no music.
Does people like music?
Does people?
Please like and subscribe and tell us.
Smash that
like music.
Smash that YouTube music button. Okay. So let's see. Draw a card. Let's see here. What do we got? What's he doing? Boris. Cool. Act. Let's see. Are you laughing at Boris? What are you doing? Laughing at Boris?
I'm laughing at you going, cool.
Boris was cool. He looked like Zangief.
I'm sorry. I'll behave since you're
No.
watching the stream.
No.
I don't know what it's like to have your parents care about stuff.
You do you.
I don't know how to behave.
Your parents don't need to care about you. I care about you. Perform 3 steps in any order.
My dad.
Click move 3 to continue. Are you winning, son? It's often a good idea to take out minions quickly. So Take out minions. Okay, where's Boris? Where is... Oh, he's over there in the corner. Select the target space to move. Move Kyoryu. I'm kind of surprised there's no music. Not that I needed those guitar riffs, but it's just like, this seems like a thing that would benefit from it. Let's see here. So I got a lead pipe.
I didn't realize there wasn't music because I have like ambient music coming from
The Sinking City. Yeah, I mean, it was all over the menu.
How old would that get though?
Um,
Maybe it's a tutorial. There's no music, so you can.
It's so I can focus. Yeah. That's right. Okay, am I gonna bash him over his
You hear
head?
this cat rubbing against my mic?
Yeah. I think I heard purr.
Hi, Jack. What's up? Lay down.
Once I gain power equal to my charge value. Ooh, then I'll be the charge side. What's my charge side? Oh, it's the same thing with a different background. That's kind of boring. I know art's expensive, but... Okay, tactics.
I mean, you've seen what, 3 cards so far?
Right. I mean, the art's nice, but I guess I was hoping he would do like a cool thing, but it's just a different background.
Oh, Jack! I mean, how big? Do you know how big decks are?
I think they're like maybe 20 cards, maybe 15.
Do you know how much variety?
How
I
about
guess if
that
you
little
don't really
grunt?
know how much is in a deck, you don't know how much variety there is.
Yeah, I don't see anything, at least on the screen, that tells me how many cards are in the deck or anything. Choose perform an action on a card, but before you do, let's take a look at fighters' attacks. I mean, this is all stuff I would love to learn in a board game, but I guess in an app, I don't necessarily feel like I need to know all this. I mean, I'm glad they're teaching me, but maybe I should have done this before I jumped on here.
Life is full of maybe shouldas.
You know, we're just going along with this. Perform the action on Channel Tempest. Gain 1 power for each Tempest card I control. Alright, that looks good. Oh yeah, these sound effects are baller. Okay, so he only has 2 more. I can 1 punch defense. Gain the power. During the react phase, you activate. Okay, so he's gonna attack me. He's gonna spend this defense to block attacks. I will also gain... Why wouldn't I do that? Oh, I wonder why you wouldn't do that.
When do what?
When I don't defend against things. When I take
Hi,
it.
Jack.
Like a chump. Draw phase. It is weird without music. I'm gonna say it right now. Just like a little ambient noise, I feel violated
You've
and
said
like
it
open.
right then too. Yeah, if there's one thing I know, you don't like that it doesn't have music. Did it just? Oh. Jack, what are you doing? Just lay down. What do you want, Jack?
So let's see.
What? Hi.
He's gonna activate. What's he gonna do? He's gonna do the N40 Punisher.
Hi. That's gear, dude. He's not doing it. He's
Oh, I thought that was the
Where-
attack of
where
his. I thought that was the name of his attack.
equipping it.
No, he threw it
I
at
think
me.
it's the knife. So
Yeah,
it stands for knife 40.
He threw the knife at me at 40 miles an hour. So now I'm gone ballistic? What am I doing? Okay. Activate. Stage rules.
Jack, stop rubbing against
Oh,
the
I
mic.
see. So did he destroy this? The draw is his final draw card. Recovered sidearm. Start. One direct damage for each Anastasia in play. These sound effects. Attempt to move to another space, and notice how Boris prevents me. I'll click done. It didn't look like he prevented me, but that's fine. Click done. Yeah, let's use an attack card. Let's use Eye of the Storm. Why would I remove 2 power tokens? Remove 0. Oh, I wouldn't remove power tokens. Okay. I don't feel like this was the best thing to do. I should have just done this and then played it. Like, done the tutorial off screen. Am I going to bash him with this lead pipe now? Let's do it. Discard the lead. Yeah, and steal his brass knuckles. Move 3.
I think they're called N5s for knuckle.
5 knuckles.
5s. You have 5 knuckles. 4 knuckles. N4s, because you have 4 of them. The thumb one doesn't count.
Alright, so I'm going to pick up this red objective by interacting with its card. I don't know, this... Maybe I'm not the best to learn. I mean, I guess I've learned other games with this, but I think I'm just trying to get to the... I'm going to interact with this weapons cache. I'm just trying to get to, like, the fun. I should have just skipped it and done trial by fire. Sky Strike. Oh, I think it's a 24 card in my deck.
Apropos of nothing, did I tell you I played what the hell is it called? Jackbox with
Yeah, and it
some of
was
his
like,
friends.
it fell flat. Do you know, which one did you play? I still haven't played the recent one.
The one that has like the rap game in it. I think it was 4.
The rap game is good. I think that's 5.
So it's plus he may have switched between Jackbox games at some point. Because we played Murder Mystery, we played the rap one, we played T-shirt KO, and I know Murder Mystery and the T-shirt one I think are 5 or 6. We also played Quiplash, and it's like playing Cards Against Humanity and stuff, where it's just, it depends on the people you're with, it depends on your familiarity with them, it depends on their comedic ability, which of course is up to interpretation. You different tastes for different folks.
Yeah.
But, like, we sat down, we played T-shirt KO, and the very first option I got was someone drew a dick, and the very first option I had for a phrase was "eat, pray, pussy," and I was like, "Yeah, this."
Buckle
this
up.
Like, I'm not. This is not my. And I had several like Quiplash and stuff where I like made, good or not, I like had actual jokes involving like set up in a punchline or
Nobody
like,
cares about actual
wordplay
jokes.
or something, and then everyone else was just like wieners, and I was like, all right, like if you're not gonna, and those were the ones that won. The one that I won the hardest on, the prompt was like, come up with a cartoon character that has the word taint in their name. And my response was, I refuse to do this on religious grounds. And that was the only one where I like won hard on. We did the rap battle, and I won that overall, I think. I did. And that was because like there were a couple of them where they just like didn't try, and I like tried to make real like raps and rhymes. And I mean, it just kind of depends. Like sometimes you get like Zach did one with Quiplash where he pandered specifically to me, and he was disappointed. He's like, you didn't vote for me. I pandered towards you. And I was like, I don't vote. Like, I don't take
bribes.
I don't support pandering. Like unless your pandering is like legitimately a joke that like the joke is that you're pandering to me with that. Like I don't do that. It's not funny, and it doesn't encourage actual gameplay. It turns the game into a meta game where it's like, oh, I know who. It's like playing Cards Against Humanity, where you play a card because you know who's gonna who's guessing or who's picking the winning card, and you're like, I'm gonna pick this one because I know they always laugh at big fat dicks.
Well, and it's
like that's dumb.
It's the fact that it doesn't. You don't even try to go after the topic or the theme or anything. Like, I've played games where it is based on a little bit of pandering, but
yeah, and I mean pandering is fine, and like every once in a while, and like I said, sometimes the pandering can be a joke in and of itself.
It's when, and that's the big issue with Cards Against Humanity for me. And I've been fortunate to not have this happen in Jackbox, where there's like a phrase that becomes just the winning thing. It doesn't matter what's out there. It's just like, you just beeline to that, and that wins. And it kind of gets a little old.
That happened in TKO or T-shirt KO or whatever it's called, where since it's like the victor moves on, and then the newcomer comes in, and if the newcomer doesn't dethrone the victor continues on. Where there were just like ones that were just like crass and stupid, and weren't actual. Like the picture had nothing to do with the phrase, and the phrase was just like crude to be crude, and it would keep winning. And I was like the only dissenter who would vote against the opposer. Sometimes because I actually thought the opposer was a good joke or like a funny shirt, and sometimes it was just because like I don't want to support them.
Yeah.
But you'd get like it would keep coming up, and everybody would keep voting for it because it was like, it says, I don't even remember.
Something stupid.
And it's fine, but
it's not
like,
fine.
And there were
Andrew.
laughs. Like I had a decent enough time. I just want friends.
What do you need from me? What do you
I'll
need?
sell out for friends.
All right, completed the tutorial. No idea what's going on. I don't want to do a story
Did you ever
mode.
play Alan Wake? I think I may have asked.
You know, I never had an Xbox, so I didn't. But I saw that, like, Remedy is doing a like connected universe, and I hope they bring Alan Wake to a playable state for me. I've always wanted to play Alan Wake.
I don't know if it's confirmed, but there are rumors that there might be like a like remastered edition will come to PS4, which I really, really hope.
I would. That'd be good.
I mean, Alan Wake kind of falls into the Control category of I'm far more interested in the world, in the story, than the gameplay itself. But I think the gameplay of Alan Wake, of what I remember, because I played it in like college, is serviceable. The one thing I'll say against control is I just don't think the gameplay's that great. I don't think the controls are that great. And
How
I
ironic.
think they get in the way of the story a bit. Heyo.
So who should I gotta pick 1 to 4 fighters. I'm gonna pick 2. Who should I be?
Go with Megan and Brandon. Go with the 2 most normal sounding people.
You don't think Gabriel is normal sounding?
No, Gabriel sounds like an angel. Plus, he doesn't have a shirt on, so there's no way he's not a rad dude.
Oh,
I can't see Brandon, but he looks like he might just be wearing like a jersey.
what?
How about Zane's like.
Where's Zane?
Face
Oh,
like he got kicked in the nuts or something.
do you want me to choose Zane for my ally? Who should my other ally be to make it easier? Harley Quinn?
Harley Quinn. I saw that Sarah O'Quinn, and I was gonna say the same thing, and you beat me to it.
Choose one. Yeah, let's do it. Who should my rivals be?
Isabella and Juan.
Who should the enemy be? The Golden Dragons? No, the Kingdom. How about this Brotherhood
I
logo?
thought that said the Klingons.
How about that Brotherhood logo? Just a skull with a star on his forehead and
With wings.
with crow wings.
Do it. Go with that.
What should my stage be? What do these mean? Original copy? What stage do you want to see? Can I see a...
Oh. Let's do Gone Ballistic. Actually, do that one. It's pink and or purple and yellow. Cashed out.
What's Gone Ballistic? Gone Ballistic is where I just was. Where was the cashed out?
Do Cashed Out. That one was interesting.
Fight.
It's colorful. Yeah, it's colorful.
It's like the freaking
like a
Lakers. Have you ever been to a casino? That's not what casinos look like. Have you been to a casino? I don't think you have.
Isn't that a casino, though? I have not been to a casino. Aren't those casino... I was going to use my mouse to point at them, and I realized you can't see.
Are these
Are
casinos?
those, like, roulette machines on the... Not roulette, yeah.
I think it is a
on the
casino.
Side there, and, like...
I think you're right. It is a casino.
Yeah, yeah. Don't you call me a liar, you son of a bitch.
All right, what happened? Each time the boss or pit boss moves to an
I went
inactive...
on record that I was right.
The boss... You are right. And that's the joy. That's the joy of streaming to YouTube. Is that anybody can view this.
Cashed Out or something too?
Yeah, it was. That was a giveaway. See, you cheated by looking at the actual title of the thing.
I cheated by looking at the picture as you roll.
And using context clues. All right, what do I have to do? The boss moves 3 spaces towards the nearest inactive objective. Flip an active objective in your space to use.
Sherlock Holmes is a cheater.
Gain up to 3 power from, quote, the house. And search the loot deck for copies of, quote, cash to gain.
I don't know why I have to run across a stupid city like this.
Because you're afraid. I was reading something about, like, Death of the Artist for H.P. Lovecraft. And somebody was saying how his stories are filled with, like, I mean, it's not a surprise, or I guess, well, it's probably not a surprise, but, like, everyone knows that H.P. Lovecraft was horribly, horribly racist. Like, even for his time. It wasn't even something where, like, he just didn't know better.
If you Google what his cat's name was.
Yes. But, like I love Shadow over Innsmouth. And it's something where I think it's a good book. A good story. I think it's interesting. I think when you look at it as what it is and what H.P. Lovecraft wrote it as, of it being like, hey, this is why we shouldn't, like, interbreed. It's really cringy and really gross. But I will agree that I can read Shadow over Innsmouth as just like a cosmic horror thing. I do know that his stories are really racist.
Problematic.
And problematic. Yeah, problematic's a good word for it. Because it's not like, I mean, they're racist. It's weird. They're overtly racist, but they're not that overtly racist. Does that make sense? It's not like he's not having Klansmen run out into the world.
It's not screaming racism.
But it's something where it's like, oh yeah, like all of the enemies are like poor foreign people.
I have not read a lot of Lovecraft recently. I don't think I've actually read any legitimate Lovecraft since high school. I've read like people riffing on Lovecraft and stuff, and at that point it kind of becomes divorced from that context because everyone just cares about the monsters.
Well, and like the Cthulhu mythos as a whole is separated far from Lovecraft.
Yeah, but what I was gonna say is like I was gonna say it's not as like overtly racist as like I don't know, the Jungle Book. But then again, I haven't read it since having that context, so maybe it is.
Yeah, and that's the weird thing with.
I think that I guess Jungle Book is. I think Jungle Book is a little more racist by context, just because it is legitimately about like the jungle, and I think it's a little easier to infer than like cosmic space monsters.
And I think it's something where.
But I think.
Like. There is a death of the artist. It's weird. I agree with both death of the artist and separating art from artist. But that's a line that's so individualized that, like, I don't necessarily know if I could tell people, hey, don't read H.P. Lovecraft because he's racist. Or don't buy this media because the creator is a bad person. So the other thing too is
who does not care about like I don't know. I don't care about the like I believe in death of the artist. It mostly just comes down to principle of like how much do I care about the work they produced and how scummy is the person?
Like the other thing is
how much their work is divorced from the scum that they are.
The other thing is with Death of the Artist, and another thing that I've been reading too is I don't know if you heard all this. So, Act Age, the manga about like the girl trying to get into acting.
I saw something was happening about it, but I don't know anything about
the writer. So it's a writer-artist duo.
I just saw people were talking about it.
The writer-artist duo, the writer was arrested for groping underage women. And so tell me about it. So the whole series canned. And Act Age was something that I was getting ready to read. The only reason I haven't started reading it is because it's one of those weird Shonen Jump mangas where look at us. First stream, we're getting into heavy-handed topics here. The Jump artist, or the only reason I haven't started is because Shonen Jump is in one of those weird things
I have like a delay
where
when you're talking to when I can respond.
The series started weekly, but they didn't have the unmute.
Do me a favor.
Since we're talking,
unmute yourself.
Yeah.
In Discord. I'm just gonna. At this point, we know the stream's working, so.
Yeah, I guess that's true. If you thought the sound and everything was good. So
because it was getting really difficult to hold a conversation.
I noticed it a couple times here. So so I was going to read Act Age. Now that all this stuff is happening, I am not. I have no interest in it. I am like, this is a total case of.
Well, plus with the context of what his crime was, I mean, isn't Act Age about like a young actress? Like I think
she deals with like horrible scumbags in the industry. And whoa, he was a horrible scumbag all along. But so everybody's complaining because that's what everybody does.
How do I go after this stupid?
And everybody's talking about Rurouni Kenshin.
Mm-hmm.
and Watuki being no,
Pedophile.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
and because Japan is weird backwards in areas, it's like wasn't a thing. Um, it was like a fine because technically it like wasn't illegal, but still. And so everyone's calling into question like, well, Rurouni Kenshin is still being published. Rurouni Kenshin is still a thing. Um, but Act Age gets canceled. And then people are saying, well, it's because Watsky, who created Rurouni Kenshin, is making them more money than probably the artist, or the writer of Act Age was. Which I think is probably true to some extent. I think some of it is also Japan's weird laws on this issue, which I'm just going to say right now, I have no idea what they are. I'm just going off of what I've read online. But the other thing, too, is, you know, it's hard to say. But I have also not committed death of the artist and not committed separating art from the artist. Kirsten and I just started Inuyasha, and I was thinking, oh, well, maybe I'll start Rurouni Kenshin, because she likes kind of like historical dramas, and I was thinking, you know, it's not Victorian era, but it's like the historical drama for Japan, you know, warring states, feudal Japan, all that stuff. But I ended up in Inuyasha just because in the back of my head, Matsuki had child pornography. Not like, as far as I'm aware, it wasn't like hardcore gross. It was still gross, but it wasn't like hardcore crap. It was just like children. It was like a beauty pageant thing to the 11. It was bad, probably. I don't know. Everything's bad. I'm not going to sit here and be like, well, it wasn't bad child pornography. It was child pornography. So, you know, I separate art from artists that way. Same thing with Ryan Adams. I was a big fan of Ryan Adams. He came out, or all the stuff came out with him, like texting underage girls and like.
Ryan Adams. Why do I know that?
He's a music artist.
Oh, then I guess I don't know that. I think I'm thinking Douglas Adam, who just came out as a dick.
Okay, that's another thing, is that all of like the writers are dicks. But I mean, you can't win. See, we're gonna put ourselves out here, and next thing you know, we're gonna be canceled before we even had our prime. So
I mean, we did a podcast young. I'm sure we've said some things that I will horribly regret. Probably nothing that bad, but I know we probably said stuff that is less than PC.
I think another thing is growing as a person and knowing that. But I mean, with like H.P. Lovecraft, I think there's a difference in. There's an H.P. Lovecraft estate. I'm sure. I don't know off top of my head, but I'm sure there's an H.P. Lovecraft estate. Same thing with who wrote Conan and Tarzan?
Edgar Rice Burroughs.
Yeah, there's a big thing with Edgar Rice Burroughs too, or at least there was. Everyone's a terrible person. We know that, but there's something different about continuing to support Act Age when the writer is jailed for molestation, as opposed to buying a Cthulhu anthology and being like, "No, H.P. Lovecraft is dead. I am not supporting H.P. Lovecraft." You're supporting his estate, which doesn't necessarily share the same views as H.P. Lovecraft. But I think there is a difference, and that's what some people were saying too, where it's like, hey, if you're buying Act Age, because I guess the first volume was, or not the first volume, but I guess a new volume was coming out or whatever, and people were like, I want to read Act Age because everyone says it's so good, and I'm going to buy volumes or whatever. I'm going to keep reading. And people are like, if you support this, you could be directly supporting defense funds for this person who is indeed a terrible person. And I think there's something about not separating art from artists there. But I think it's also, because same thing with, I keep wanting to say it's Jenny Nicholson, but it's not. It's the other girl. She did the...
Lindsay Ellis.
Lindsay Ellis did the thing on J.K. Rowling. And...
Just Kidding Raffling is really easy for me because I never really liked Harry Potter anyway. So that was something where when all that came up, I was like, oh, this just makes it easier to publicly not like Harry Potter.
Well, and so I talked to Kirsten about it, and we watched it, and she's at a hard place in it where those books were her childhood and she grew up with them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
if I found out that Eastman and Laird were like horrible people, I don't know how I would be able to reconcile Ninja Turtles.
Like, I think it's funny. Eastman and Laird is your people.
I'm just saying, like, there are three things I super care about right now: Kamen Rider and Tokusatsu, which I guess is Power Rangers in general.
What if Hogarth Hughes was a
Don Rosa, and then like Ninja Turtles? And if I found out that like Ninja Turtles had some like horrible, I mean, you get into a weird with all this stuff lately where I'm kind of thinking about like political correctness and stuff, and I've been reading the Ninja Turtles comic, which is very, very good, but I noticed like how much of like Asian culture is kind of just appropriated, which I never really took into account before, but it's a lot of just like ninjas and ninja magic, and it reaches that same kind of like weird space where I'm like, this isn't really okay, is it? Like, it's not ill, there's no ill will, but
it's like a lack of understanding or a lack of trying to understand. It's the everybody complains about come on with their Rising Sun, where one of like the mythical, it's in a fictional feudal Japan, and one of the mythological gods that you can have was a Wikipedia joke and is actually named after, like, it's not a real Japanese myth. It was just some people in Australia were like, hey, wouldn't it be funny if we made a Wikipedia page for this guy and said he was a Japanese deity? And then Kamon's literal basis for putting together Rising Sun, I guess, was just crawling the Wikipedia page and saying, yep, we'll use this one, we'll use this one, we'll use this one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, I'm not in any position to really state it, but Ninja Turtles has been the current comic has been doing better to kind of like use the Japanese culture in some type of way, but I don't think like there's a lot of consultation happening. I think in the end it still comes down to it's aesthetic over anything else. And to be fair, when it's Ninja Turtles, what more can you really do? But
right.
It's in the name, but it's something where there's a lot of like Japanese mysticism, and like the most recent arc ended in the summoning of like a literal dragon, and I was just kind of thinking back on it, and I was like, I never really took the time to think of it before because it was always just like, that's Ninja Turtles, there's ninjas, that's what you do. But now it's like, I don't know if it's bad, I just don't know if it's necessarily okay. Like, if it didn't have the years of everything behind it, would it,
if it came out today,
yeah, would it be okay? And same thing, like, I really love Sixth Gun, but there's a lot of weird like native mysticism that happens that, again, I don't think there's any ill will, but it's kind of like in an area where it's like, I don't think if this came out today, I think there'd be a lot more backlash, but since it came out in like early 2000,
is there go back undo last move? There we go.
I think there's an undo last move.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny thinking of TMNT and like Orientalism. It's different, but like One Piece is in its big, long, like feudal Japan inspired arc.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of thinking of it as
it's still in that. That's when I stopped reading like 2 years ago.
It's like
I stopped like right as that whole thing was starting. There was like a guy who ate like a dragon fruit or something and had like he turned into a dragon or something.
You don't even want to know.
But everyone was dressed like a samurai canonically, as opposed to just like the one-page gags to start a manga. Everyone was canonically dressed as a samurai, and I was like, I don't know what's going on.
I talked with a friend at work I talk with a friend at work about One Piece, and every week I say, I have no idea what's going on. I don't know where anybody is. I don't know what's happening. But it's pretty cool.
I need to get back into like.
What I need is for Wano to end so I can regroup. And everything points to the fact that Wano is in its last like big fight. But it's weird because I see stuff about the anime and things. And
The last big fight means that it could still go on for another year.
It could go on for 30 chapters.
If anything I've read so far, it means that Luffy needs to get knocked out like 6 times, and then they're like, Luffy's dead for real this time, and then he just gets back up.
Well, and that's the thing.
Even angrier than before.
So all this stuff
kind of got burnt out fast. Like,
all this stuff is coming out where it's like, okay, One Piece is finishing up Wano and going into the last arc. But Oda keeps saying there's like 4 more years at least.
I believe it.
I do too.
Know how many times Luffy's got to get knocked out?
Well, and
again, I'm going off of the first up until the Grand Line or the Red Line or whatever it is that once they reach that, and I thought that was like the end goal, and it's like barely even I basically finished the prologue, and the real story started.
And that was 100 chapters in.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't think I want to continue, but everything that happened ever since they reached the Grand Line, I have not cared. It has been completely whatever to me.
There's good Grand Line
stuff.
Point
where I'm confused yet.
There's good Grand Line stuff. And I think there was a lot of times where I wasn't really confused, but there's so many things at play. Like I was telling a buddy of mine that like on the title spread, I was like, "Oh yeah, this is a character. This is like a part of the crew." I like completely forgot he existed. And there's characters that I really like that I'm just like, I don't know what they're doing. And there's characters that I have seen, I still don't know what they're doing. They just like show up in a panel, and I'm like, okay, yeah, Chopper's a thing. No idea what he's accomplishing.
Like I said when we last really talked about One Piece, it kind of, and again, I'm not very far, so it feels weird to say this so definitively, but for me, it peaked at Arlong Park.
Arlong Park is very, very good, but there is some really, really good stuff. I used to say Arlong Park was the best thing One Piece did. Not that anything else wasn't good or wasn't worth me reading. Cake Island I thought was phenomenal.
Arlong Park did go on a little too long for me, like all of them do, because Luffy has to get knocked out, and then there's a lot of like Luffy's unconscious for 6 chapters until he wakes up and does his super move, which is whatever. But I've said it before, and I'll say it again now on a recording so that I have to be held to it. For someone who only knew One Piece, where I read it when it was in Shonen Jump, when Shonen Jump first started in America, why is she dressed like Sailor Moon? She's not Harley Quinn. She's Sailor Moon Harley Quinn.
Do you think that's why your name's Sarah?
Probably. But I only knew a couple characters. I didn't know Chopper was part of the crew until recently. I thought those were just people that showed up, and they were just there.
And there is a lot of people that show up.
And ended with like the first 5 people you meet, and that's it. But
no, they're still adding people to the crew.
What's his name?
Usopp.
Usopp is the best character, and he was someone that I had a One Piece game for the GameCube, and I thought he looked stupid, and I hated him because he looked like a dweebo. But his stuff, for as far as I've read, is the best thing in all of that. And that's why I've said before, Arlong Park is so good because of what Usopp does in it.
And the stuff with Usopp only gets better.
It's his like big, and I know
it's not his big moment.
No, I know he has a huge turn and everything. Like, I know where he ends because of stuff outside of me reading it, but like, I don't know if anything will surpass his moment of defiance in Arlong Park, just because I know he grows as a character and I know he becomes more confident, but the fact that like he is still terrified in that moment. And there's that like panel of him like standing there calling Arlong out while shaking. that is like grade A stuff. That is like that. Inject that into my blades. Into my
Inject it into my blades, man.
Inject that into my veins because like that is the stuff I live for. That's like the stuff that shows up in Kamen Rider that I love. And it's just hard to believe that it's going to get better than that. And it's just because like I've gone through 2 arcs since then, I think. 2 or 3 arcs, and they haven't been anything. People
Where are
just
you
kinda
at?
showing up. I believe I read like 1 chapter after they left the island with the giants. And I thought the giant stuff was not bad, just horribly boring, and it went on way too long. I could not wait for it to be over.
Yeah, Little
And that's kind of
Gardens.
where everything has been since.
Little Garden
Since
was
that.
fine. I didn't think it was anything to like stop reading about, but
I mean, I didn't stop reading because of it. I stopped reading just because like I fell behind, and then I fell behind on everything, and so I was more interested in catching up to stuff because the further I fall behind in the stuff I'm still reading weekly, the harder it is for me to catch up. Because I just kind of like keep falling behind because I'm like, well, I'm
Right.
already 2 chapters behind. What's another one? And then next thing I know, I'm 6 chapters. I like the spirit one, whatever it's called. Although the last couple chapters that I read,
Me Thomas
kinda-
Spirit Busters.
yeah,
I never
I
read
actually
it.
I like it quite a bit. It ebbs and flows. And lately I say by being like 3 months behind. It kind of dropped a little bit for me, but I actually legitimately like it. But I just kind of like kept falling behind in it, just because like whenever I read new stuff, I do Doctor Stone first, and then
How good is Doctor Stone? That's the best thing I'm
it's
reading right
great.
now.
I do Doctor Stone first, and then I do We Never Learn, and then everything else is kind of up for grabs, and I just kind of go in the order that it comes up, and Spirit Detective just keeps falling behind in that list. I read the newest chapter of Time Paradox Ghost Rider.
What do you think of
whatever it's
that?
called. Ever since we had our talk, I honestly thought I was reading the last chapter, or at least the second.
I did too. I was like,
It
it's
feels
over.
like it is over, and I don't know. You said it felt like it wasn't going anywhere. I felt like it was going too fast, and the more it's been going on, I feel like it is rocketing. It felt like there were a couple stuff that ended prematurely, and you could feel that it was getting canceled, and it had a choice to either just continue until they couldn't anymore, or to just like bust out the end. That other one that I really liked with the Warden from Hell, and he like took demons' hands and
Yeah.
got different powers from it. I like that one a lot.
But
And
yeah,
it
that
got
one was canceled.
Yeah, it got canceled, and you could feel like it had to like kind of rush to it got like an epilogue chapter that kind of wrapped everything up as best it could, but it like rushed to like because it had like an ongoing like backstory thing going on that it just kind of like skyrocketed towards as fast as it could so that it could set up basically that epilogue chapter to just kind of wrap everything up as best it could. Love Rush did the same thing. Love Rush was like I liked Love Rush a lot too. But it like I wasn't prepared for it to be over. It's just like suddenly it just was like and everything's resolved, we're done. Out of nowhere. And it's just kind of weird. I'm gonna be right back. I gotta run to the bathroom.
Nope, you're good.
A bottle of water.
You're good. I'm like trying to figure this out. I know I haven't been saying anything, so I don't know if this is what we do. We don't really go on tangents. So I haven't really been like keeping everybody involved in this. To be honest, I haven't really been keeping myself involved in this. I'm just kind of like seeing what happens when I do stuff. I don't really understand all of the different. I just kind of see the cards with the glows, and I press that. It's like, why not press this? Oh, I guess because I don't need to do its combo thing. Okay. So let's see. I'm not even next to anybody, so I'll move. We're just gonna bum rush Dimitri here. What does Harley Quinn do? Sarah moves up to 3 spaces. Exhaust. There we go. There and attack. Dimitri. Is there a way to check out how much health Dimitri has? 39. I've only done 1 damage to him. Are you kidding me? Let's see here. What do these things do? How much power do I have? 5? 1? Let's see here. I don't need to move. Don't need to do the bite back. Let's do this Viper stance since I'm next to people now. Melee and stance. Wait, no, I'm already... Action. Yeah, sure, why not? Let's get this 1 die. Only 2, huh? Yourself a combo. Gain 1 defense token, gain 1 power. What's in my hand? How do I check my hand? Oh, return to game. Oh, this is my hand. I guess I don't need to do that because I'm not engaged with any minions. Play. Resolve the combo effect. We'll do this. Gain 1 defense. I should have paid more attention during the defense stuff. I don't really understand it. So now we got this frightened gambler. Choose up 3 defense tokens. Well, I can only remove all of them. Activate that. He's gonna do something. Let's have him go after the my allies. Might as well select fighter to retreat from. Let's activate him.
I'm back. Hey, since we're just at this has turned into Seth and Andrew just chat about.
That's
stuff.
what this is, you know. We go on tangents. That's what I was saying when you left.
To the people that already know that.
To my parents and
So the
my
people that
friends.
already know that.
Make sure you smash that like and subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications, and go to our Patreon to support us.
When you get a chance, by the way, send me this new. Well, yours is square. Although that's just a background in general, right?
No, that's like 2 of them. Yeah, I figured I would send you a new set of scenes. Just because I've done a couple. And Saturday before, so for those watching, Andrew and I are going to play Fall Guys on Saturday around 3, or at 3. But a little sausage get made. So before that, we'll go through all our stuff. Make sure you're on all the right videos, things. Make sure I'm on all the right video things. And then I'll send you a new set of scenes.
Okay. But since we're at just like chit-chatting about chit-chat, I watched the first episode of Neo Ultra Q last night.
How's that?
Trial run for Toku.
I thought you had Tokusatsu.
No, Tokusatsu is free. Toku is a different. It's like a channel you can get on Amazon, and it's got like Ultraman and a bunch of other stuff on it. And I did a 7-day trial, and I'll probably just keep it so I can watch some of the Ultraman, and then probably inevitably buy a bunch of them on Blu-ray just as support. But I was disappointed. I could have sworn Kuga was on it, but it's not. And Kuga
Didn't you already watch Kuga?
No, Kuga was on Tokusatsu, and at a point you could just like watch it, like just pick an episode and stream it. And then the last time I tried, you couldn't. You could only watch it when they aired it, which was just whenever. So I don't know. I wasn't planning to necessarily watch Kuga. I was thinking I might go back and watch Kuga after I finish Gaim. I'm almost done with Gaim. The reason I watched Neo Ultra Q last night was I hit the episode of Gaim that is just like a weird like setup to the movie before the movie happens, and so I had the movie next, and I was like, I don't really feel like sitting down and watching an hour and a half of a movie because it was already kind of late. So I watched Neo Ultra Q instead. Which, by the way, you ever watch Kakaider?
No.
No. Kakaider was an anime that I used to watch in high school, but they made a live-action reboot, I guess. And I think it was originally a live-action show before the anime, but they made a live-action reboot that I guess came out at the same time as Gaim, so they did like a backdoor pilot in an episode of Gaim. He just randomly shows up, and the villain puts his brain in a robot so that he can fight Kakaider. Anyway, Neo Ultra Q, I watched the pilot, and for something that was described as like Tokusatsu X-Files, it kind of wasn't. I'm going only off of the first episode. It wasn't quite what I was looking for. It wasn't bad. It just wasn't what I was looking for. I liked it, but I didn't love it. I was a little unimpressed, a little bored. And I was kind of hoping, granted, it takes place within the universe of Ultraman, so people already like anticipate a giant like spandex alien man to come down and fight monsters. But it was kind of weird that like the monster of the episode was like a troll that was like roaming through the street. It was like a big rock monster thing that was kind of like roaming through the streets, and they were trying to figure out like where it was going and why it was there. And like everybody knew it was there. It wasn't like I thought it was like a clandestine, like they secretly investigate this stuff, but like it was a public thing. Everybody knew it was on the news, which was just like a weird little thing where it was like, it's not a bad thing. It's just, I don't know. I'm more interested in like investigating the stuff that no one knows about, like the small stuff that Ultraman doesn't deal with. But I'm interested to watch more. I'm interested in seeing.
I was interested in like trying the original Ultra Q. I'm like a hit or miss on like old Japanese stuff though.
That's why I went with this first. Old stuff, especially black and white old stuff, is weird. Like I wanted to go back and watch like original Ultraman and Return of Ultraman and everything, and someday I will. But I haven't. It's very hit or miss. Sometimes it just doesn't age well or interest me. But it's just
I remember in high school watching like Seven Samurai, and I mean that was in high school. I'm definitely a different person now, but I remember, I mean, taking a couple days to get through that.
So speaking of Sinking City, I don't know if we've ever actually talked about it. I know I like sent you some stuff when I started.
You've mentioned a few things. Yeah, we talked about it.
Okay. Because like, I don't know. It's weird that like it's not subtle at all. It really wants to be a Lovecraft thing, so like the monster and horror stuff is always front and center, but not in like a good way. It's weird. I think I told you before, like you arrive in town as a newcomer to this weird town where that like is starting to sink into the ocean, and it's like a weird like post-apocalyptic thing sort of, except for everywhere where it's not. And like you meet a fish man, and he's a legitimate fish man, and your character reacts to everything the same way, which is like mild interest at best, where he's just like, I've never seen someone like that looks like you. And dude's like, yeah, all of us Innsmouthers look like this. And he's like, yeah, I mean, I guess so. Like, honestly, it was rude of me to even bring it up. It's just weird. Like, the first time you see a monster, you just shoot it, and then later on you talk to someone, you're like, I saw a creature, I've never seen anything like it before. It's like, you're not, like, freaked out or confused or anything?
A little bit.
Just going on with it, I guess. How was your first game of whatever?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to not do this when I'm, like, streaming and talking so that I could, like, figure out what's going on.
That's why when I came back from the bathroom. I was like, this is my opportunity to talk to this dude in the game and like actually absorb the information he's giving me.
I lost, but I don't know why.
'Cause you're bad.
Each time a fight, figure carrying an objective suffers any amount of damage. Resolve the objective effect on the inactive objective nearest the boss. I don't understand what any of that means. I'm gonna have to do the tutorial again because I have no idea what's going on, and the sound is like off. At least for me. Oh boy. I guess it has been an hour. And
This dude just wanted me to kill his mom. Might do it. Who knows?
check it next time. What a cliffhanger. No, I guess it is. It has been an hour. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. I just finished this game. It's 1,000,000 degrees in this room.
Everybody go away.
For the love of God, let me out of this. I'm sorry you called my bluff. Oh my God, Jackets and the Lightning are still playing. So there's a hockey. I know you don't care about hockey. There's a hockey game going on right now. I care about
everything you care about, just like you care about Tokusatsu.
Does that make you feel good when I send you like Kamen Rider memes?
Yes, it does.
I do that because I know it makes you feel good. No, I care because you care. This is like a nice. This is everything that we are. For all my parents watching, I do that because I know it makes me. I don't do that to Kirsten. No, that's not true. I sent her like a stupid little shark thing today.
Did you send her the Harry Potter with guns?
You know, I didn't. I was going to. But I think it's the same reason I didn't send it to you.
There's an entire movie cut.
Yeah, no, that's what he did.
Entire movie like that.
That's what he did.
Nuts.
But what was I talking about?
I don't know. Sending me Tokusattu stuff.
Oh yeah, no. So there's a hockey game going on. So now since COVID and all the stuff, everything's all screwed up. So I don't remember when this game started, but at 5:00, it was in the last third.
If it's anything like the rest of this COVID stuff, it started in early May.
I guess 3 hours usually. It probably started at 2 this afternoon. It is still going on.
It started in 2 in the afternoon?
At 5:00, maybe 2:30ish. At 5:00, there was. No, it probably started at 3. I think it started at 3 because at 5:00.
What is keeping it going?
Nobody's scoring. They all suck.
Wait, it's 0-0? Or
No,
they're just tied?
It's 2-2. And since it's playoffs, it's continuous overtime. So they just keep playing 20 minutes, and it just went into 5th overtime. So they have played 1, 2, 3. They have played like 2 and they're almost at 2. They're 10 minutes short of 2.5 games played tonight. Well, no, 3.5 games, because including the original one. 2-4-6, 2-4-6. Yeah. So I'm gonna go watch that. It's been an hour. That's all I really wanted to do is just do an hour. Maybe next time I'll stream this again, but I'll like figure it out off stream so that I can understand what's going on and actually kind of talk about it. But I had no idea what was going on. Hopefully people like this. We're gonna keep trying it. Andrew and I were talking about streaming. Tomorrow I'm probably gonna stream. We have a Wednesday night game night. Probably stream that. As far as I'm aware, it's just the 3 of us, not you, me, Kirsten, and Josh. I think we're gonna play Biblios.
What's that?
I don't know, some little card game. Since it's just 3 of us, and now that Josh has a baby and he has like no routine, we're just trying to keep everything into like an hour chunk. So I'm just looking for games that are 30 to 45 minutes. And so, since it's usually just the 3 of us, I have not even heard from Colin or Mike in a long time. But I'm just going down the list of like the best games for 3 players under an hour, and I'm just going through the list and saying, I guess we'll play Biblios this week. So we'll do that tomorrow at 8. The video should already be up. So anybody watching can check that and hit like remind me or whatever and tune in there. Also, I got all the stuff set up. I got the Facebook page. I got the Instagram and the Twitter and all that stuff. All the posts will go up reminding you on that. You were going to stream something Thursday, right?
Sure, I can. I don't know what yet, but
when you let me know, I'll put stuff out online and get everything set up. But you're planning on streaming Thursday, and
do I have to stick to a schedule? Because I mean, I was thinking I might stream something with Kyle. I mean, what are you doing Thursday?
I am talking with friends. We have a little Zoom chat.
Okay.
Planned for Thursday.
I'll figure something out. Maybe Brad wants to play Destiny. I don't know. I mean, I'll stream something.
And if you don't want to, that's fine. I was just trying to figure this stuff out.
I'm not good at talking to myself. I need someone there, or else I'm just like.
Right.
Every once in a while, I'll play this and say something to myself, and I'm like, that was a good joke. I should have streamed. And I'm like, no, because then I would have been like 20 minutes of silence, and then I made a dumb, stupid pun, laughed at it, and then it'd be another like 15 minutes of silence.
You'll figure it out. I'm fairly decent at like kind of talking as I go or whatnot. I tested Ticket to Ride yesterday with all this stuff, and that was easier than this. But there's a lot more going on in this. Ticket to Ride is just like, I'm gonna go after this route, whatever. But yeah, so tomorrow at 8. Andrew's hoping to do something Thursday, probably around 8ish, maybe, at least for an hour or whatever. That's the plan. Do everything for at least an hour, so maybe go longer, but you'll at least be able to have that hour. And then Saturday at 3, Andrew and I are going to do Fall Guys. I've played it a little. Andrew's played it a little. Just a little fun, goofy game. So, yeah.
Anybody with a PS4 Plus, I think, can download it for free.
Yeah, it's on PS Plus, so it's free. So, probably a good time to check it out. But I am going to bounce. I assume you don't want me to start up a stream for you. I assume you're just going to bounce too.
I'm just gonna bounce. This is of all the games. Like I was thinking about this before. Sinking City is probably the worst one to stream if I don't know how to talk, because it is like tons of just like talking to characters and pulling up my map every 2 seconds because there is no mini map and I have no idea where I am at any given time.
Well, you don't need to talk, but it would be nice if we had like a little chat interaction. But you got to build up an audience. You know, I'm not expecting to be internet famous in one day. I'm
not expecting to be internet famous at all. So
there you go. Then we're already ahead.
Set that bar low.
Already ahead. We're doing, like we always say, we do this for us. You know, we were just doing stuff. You wanted to stream, so here we are. So, all right, everyone. Hopefully people like this. If you did, let us know. Let us know if something was wonky. Even if you don't watch anymore, at least we know what we can do in the future to make these things run smoothly. But yeah, we're going to try and keep doing this. I'm going to try and do this every Tuesday, and like I said, we do game nights every Wednesday, so I'm going to try and do it every Tuesday and Wednesday, and then try and talk Andrew into doing it Thursdays and Sundays. So, but hopefully we'll see anybody here tomorrow. All right, I am done. I'm going to hit this end stream button. Andrew, we're going to still be connected, so we're going to talk a little after it.
Cool.
But hopefully everybody enjoyed this. Hopefully